Welcome to our Wednesday Wisdom Circle. It's so good to be here with you as always. I hope everyone's having a good morning so far. And maybe if you like to take notes, I always find that when I take notes, even if I don't look at them again, I just remember things better just from the act of writing them down. It goes into my brain in a different way. So this morning, I've got like kind of I try to teach from my personal life. And I just kind of had this revelation over the past couple days that was really interesting for me. And I want to share the process of that with you because I think it could be extremely valuable um, in the way that you see and then ultimately execute this thing called life. So there's an equation that we forget, and that is that pain plus resistance equals suffering. Pain plus resistance equals suffering. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. The suffering comes when we resist what is. And I kind of, over the past few months, grieving the sudden ending of my marriage and then like the other losses coming up, things like it seems like everything comes apart all at the same time as it does, right? And I know on some level that this is everything I prayed for in terms of create, like to be able to evolve myself into the next version of myself. Things have to come apart. And then you get, I don't know about you, you guys probably don't swear as much as I do, but I was like, oh fuck. Like I asked for this. Here it is. And but what I realized is that a lot of the suffering that I'd been experiencing in the past like month especially has been because I was resisting life's unfolding in certain ways. So I felt prickly about a lot of things, and like many of my dear friends have been really wonderful and cheered me on and just been really supportive. Some of you on this call, and and then there's people that are more on the periphery that they live their life like more in fear and try to conform. And I was getting a lot of meant to be helpful advice from others. Take your time. You shouldn't date. You should be alone. Lean into your healing and just like love yourself, Pam. Fuck that. I'm like a social person. I was just like so resistant to that, but I kept getting this advice and I was like, getting like prickled by these little pieces of advice. And what it did was it really brought up wounds. This advice brought up old wounds of feeling incapable and having people point out that they thought I was incapable of running my life and therefore they needed to give me this advice, which is why you should never give advice, people. I'm giving you the advice never to give advice because you make people feel incapable. But I really looked at where the resistance was, and I was mad about having to take on more responsibilities. I was angry that people thought I should just sit here and stew in my whatever. And I just kind of follow my own heart anyway. I do what I want, generally speaking. Um, and I met a great guy and I started dating him, and it was great. It was like awesome. It was a lot of fun. And people were like, you're just like deflecting and you're all of that. And I was like, I'm not. Like I'm like, and so I came across this reel on Instagram that said if we treated a broken leg the way we treated grief, that we would have a big awakening. And so here's how it goes. Oh, you broke your leg? You shattered your femur? That's terrible. Can I hope I can help you. Do you need something from me? Oh, I see you're using crutches. Are you sure you really need those? Right? Like we would never say that to someone who broke their leg, like whatever. So anyways, I got a few more blows and I kept like I discovered there was a lot of deceit in my marriage that I wasn't aware of, and Then my cat went away. She was gone for 6 days. She came back, but I cried about it for a while. All of a sudden, I had this like clarity. I was sitting by myself and I had this clarity, and this is the sort of the teaching moment here. I'm free. My children are grown. I run my own businesses. I don't owe one fucking person the version of me that they're comfortable with. I don't know anybody the version of me that they're comfortable with, that makes them feel safe or that I'm doing the right thing. I can live a life that's mine fully, deeply, and unapologetically. And you know what's interesting? That realization doesn't remove the pain, but it removed the suffering, like immediately. Just remove the suffering. So in Buddhism, the second noble truth says that suffering, dukkha, comes from attachment to how things should be, to our old identities, to what people think. And when we resist what is, we double our pain. And so I really had this moment where I just like, it was like I cut a bunch of cords and I got really free of what other people think. And I thought, I'm 53. I'm going to live my life however the F I want to. And I don't really care what people think. Now, I would have told you before that I'm someone that doesn't care what people think, but this was a beautiful opportunity to unravel some more, like another layer of it, because we're all run by that to some degree. There's a Zen saying that says, let go or be dragged. Let go or be dragged, right? And in the yogic teachings, Patanjali speaks of avidya, which is like ignorance or misperception, as the root cause of suffering. So we suffer when we misidentify who we are, when we're playing the roles. Um, we wind up in pain. Like, have you ever had the experience of you go to, say, your parents or your like old friends or something, and they have a version of you that they see, and all of a sudden you find yourself playing that part, like an old version of yourself? You revert to an old, I don't know, like you're fawning because you don't want your dad to be disappointed in you or something, or you have an old friend and you start talking about stuff you don't care about anymore. We become the puppets of people's vision of us, unless we're not. Um, so yesterday I did something that I've never done. So I had an old friend, and really an acquaintance, but someone that I knew well a long time ago, reached out to me and was quite desperate. She had been in bed for several days, sick, like a viral sickness, but also suffers from bad depression. She hadn't showered or eaten in 3 days, not really out of bed. And I said, do you want me to call the ambulance? And she said, no, I just really like if you came and sat with me. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. And normally it's not a hard thing to get a sub for a class at my studio, but I could not get anyone to cover my 6:30 class last night. And normally I would have just said like, oh my God, I look, there's only 2 people signed in, but I would have been like, oh, it's my business and I have to do it and everything. And I was like, fuck that. I own the business. I'm somebody that shows up, and I just canceled the class. And I went and sat with my friend. I was like, you know what? My 2 students are going to get over it. And my friend, I want to be the kind of friend that shows up. And in the past, I would have felt guilty about it. I would have felt, and I was like, no, I'm just going to send them an email. I'm going to give them a free class. It's going to be fun, and go do the thing. And it was this one action of really being able to choose my life freely. And I want to be someone that shows up for others. And I want to be someone who lives in alignment with my values, even if it means disrupting other people's expectations of me. So I got some questions for you. Where in my life am I still following someone else's script? Hmm. Where in my life am I following someone else's script? What shoulds or stories am I still resisting that might be amplifying my pain? Where am I adding suffering to my life by being in resistance? And then I love this one. If I trusted myself completely, what would I allow or choose today? If I trusted myself completely, what would I allow or choose today? What does unapologetic living look like for you right now? Does unapologetic living look for you right now? And then, like, where's somewhere you can disrupt the drift? Where can you step out of the automaticity, the expectations of who you are, where you just like basically the version of you right now? It's a story that you made up that you continue to tell yourself each day. So each day you tell yourself the story of who you were, and then you recreate it in the now. Well, what if you just wrote one line differently today? What what would you do differently? What one small decision would you make that would perhaps uh, alter the trajectory of your life? Because the reality is, it's not just that I'm 53 and my kids are grown and all of that. I've always been free, and so are you. You could quit your job, leave your marriage, go move to another town tomorrow. All of us could do that if we want to, if we're brave enough, and reinvent ourselves. We can tell ourselves a brand new story about who we are. And this is a beautiful gift. You know, in the Bible, it says we're made in the image of God. This is how we're made in the image of God. We are the creators of this beautiful, wild, and precious life. And so, do you want to keep telling the same old story about who you are, or do you want to start writing some plot twists, folks? I'm about to write a couple big old plot twists. Hold my beer. Okay, so um, I just really wanted to kind of invite you into this idea of there's never a time when you're not free. You know, you have a giant ring of keys that you can open any door, but we most often stand in the prison cell that we're used to and we keep locking that door. But you've got the big ring of 1,000 keys. So, like, maybe take a step out and see which door you want to open. So let's meditate. Let's do that. Sit up nice and tall. Close your eyes. And take a couple really big, deep breaths. Now let's just do a scan of your body. Notice the crown of your head, your left ear and your right ear, your left eye, right eye, the bridge of your nose, both nostrils, your upper lip, your lower lip, the line of your jaw, the hollow at the base of your throat. Your awareness sweeps across your collarbones to the tops of your shoulders and drips down your upper arms to your elbows, to your forearms, the backs of your hands, palms, fingertips. And bring your attention to your heart space, and notice what happens when you put your attention there and breathe into your heart. Just watch the rising and falling of your chest as we create a little brain heart coherence. Walk your awareness to your belly, your hips, your thighs, your shins, your ankles, and your feet. And just notice your whole body as a space. Now, let your breath be your anchor and picture yourself standing on a threshold. Behind you is a well-worn hallway. The walls are familiar. They're lined with beliefs, obligations, and the voices of others. It's tight, cramped, and you're used to squeezing through it, even though it's never quite a fit. Just feel the energy around that. Now imagine turning forward. In front of you is a wide open field, sunlight, air, space, possibility. You take a deep breath and you step forward. And with each step, you release the need to be understood, the pressure to do things the right way, the urge to explain your choices, the belief that you owe others a version of yourself. And as you keep walking, you come to a small mirror standing in the field. You look into it and see your truest self, not the one shaped by roles, age, or titles, but the one who knows who they are. Ask yourself silently, what would you have me know? And listen. Now bring your attention to your heart. Breathe into your heart space again. Deep, full breaths, expanding your heart. And from that expansion in your heart, imagine a light at the center of your heart. And with each deep breath you take, it's like putting a billow on a fire. The light expands, the warmth expands. And the light at the center of your heart is the light of truth. The truth that you are the creator, that you are pure potentia, the truth that you can cause any possibility. And as you continue to breathe deeply into the space of your heart and the light expands, see all of the constructs dissolve, all of the old versions of you that were shaped by needing to belong or the desire to be chosen or liked or the fear of rejection. Let all of those parts of not you dissolve in the light of truth. Feel that light radiate from your heart up into your throat, out towards your shoulders, down towards your belly. Your whole torso is glowing with the light of truth in this pure space. The light travels up to the crown of your head, down through your arms, to your fingers, down through your torso and your legs and your feet until your whole body is glowing in the light of truth. The truth that you are the artist, the author, the creator of this beautiful gift of life. Whisper to yourself, I trust myself and I choose freedom. It's not necessary to follow the script. You're here to write a new one, not one based on fear or appeasement, but alignment, love, and deep inner truth. Bring your awareness back to the space of your heart. And take a deep, full breath in. Sigh it out. One more time, breathe in fully, and you're going to hold this one at the top. So fill up until you can't fill up anymore. And then take 2 more sips of air. Hold. Open your mouth and slowly exhale. Feel your shoulders relax. Then let your eyes flutter open. Beautiful. I am so grateful for this group, for being able to talk about things that matter and hopefully maybe inspire some thoughts. And I would love to open it up for any of you who would like to share gratitude in the space or anything about the teaching this morning. Carlin.
Good morning, everyone. Pam, I just want to express some gratitude to you for
Mm.
just always showing up here every Wednesday. It's just so beautiful. And I love the recordings because, as we know, I can't always participate with my littles around. So, just, yeah, huge props to you. Love it so, so much.
Thank you. Thanks. That's really kind. Thanks, Carlin. Does anyone else want to share this morning? Leanne, yeah.
Oh, can you, the second question was about what shoulds or stories can you let go of? Is that?
Yeah, what shoulds or stories am I still resisting that might be amplifying my pain?
Oh, okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you for today's.
It was a little bit rowdy today because I was mad.
Yeah, well, that's I'm working through a lot of anger and rage, and it's just coming up to an edge of grief right now. So yeah, it's I've taken up kickboxing, and it's been like so awesome.
Do you want to know what's really funny? Like when my dad found out about all this stuff with my marriage, he doesn't have any language for talking about these things, like so I found out my husband had been unfaithful for like the whole 19 years we were together, which was very painful to discover. And I went down to my dad's house the other day and he's like, "Do you want a bowl of soup?" I said, "Sure." And then he's like, "I've been thinking about something." And I said, "What?" He goes, "I think you should take up kickboxing." I said, "Why, Dad?" He goes, "So you can kick the shit out of some of these assholes you keep attracting into your life."
It is such a spiritual practice. Oh my God. It's like,
I was like, "Thanks, Dad. I'm good." Like, he does no language for like, "I'm worried about you. I'm sorry." So that's his way.
I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. Thank you, Leanne. Nancy, yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to share some gratitude for you, Pam, because it's just so heartwarming when you get on and you humble yourself and you share about your personal life. And it's a real example for me about how I can move forward in my life. And yeah, I just love you lots, and it's so great
Oh,
coming on here every Wednesday.
thank you. That's
And
so
yeah,
kind.
take up kickboxing so you can kick the shit out of them. Oh, and I just love your swearing. Like it's not like swearing, right? It's just, yeah, it just really makes the story great.
Thank you. Oh, beautiful. Well, I wish you all the most amazing day, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. And let's see what comes out of my mouth next week, shall we? Bye now.
Thank you, Pam.
Thanks, Pam. Bye, everyone.
Sending you love, Pam.
Thank you.